I didn't join the Jesuits because I'd had particular experiences of the spiritual exercises. I was probably too young to really appreciate the details of Ignatian spirituality when I first became a Jesuit. And at least in those days, it was very common that people would ask you, what was that moment of conversion? What was that wow moment that really made it clear that this was God's will? And I remember from the time of my novitiate, really pretty much to my ordination, I could never tell a wow story. There wasn't one. I didn't have any blinding, falling from the horse, this is what you have to do, conversion experience. I had a sense that I wanted to be a Jesuit. I admired and esteemed the ones that I had met. I knew that God was calling me to something in ministry and priesthood, though I couldn't prove that to you. And as a good philosophy major when I was in college, everything had to be rational. So I have no wow moment. When I made the long retreat at the beginning of my novitiate, I was sort of worried about that and told the Novice Director, and he said, well, you know, with your sense of reasoning, you wouldn't accept any wow moment because it would never be rational. And so you have to look somewhere else, which was, it was actually a very good piece of advice. And it only occurred to me several years later when my mother asked me one day, so what was the worst experience you've had in the society? And I said, from the day I entered until now, I haven't had one. It's always seemed like it's the right thing, what I need to be doing. And so there's a sense of consolation that there's always something that says this is right, even when things don't go well and things are very troubling, because this is where God wants me to be. So in the midst of the difficult times, there's an assurance, but there's never been a sort of, this is all clear now. And I think it has to do a lot with God understanding me and knowing that if it were absolutely clear, then it would be really hard to say no. And so this gives me a little bit of freedom to say, this is something I have to continue to see and follow every day.